Hi everyone, welcome to Grow Roots. This is Shannon and welcome to my June 2026 container garden tour. I am in North Texas on the border of zone 8A and 8B in a suburb north of Dallas, Texas. And I have a very small backyard and front yard. I live in your typical suburban neighborhood, but the way that I maximize my space and grow all of the plants that I want to grow is through container gardening. And so I have more than 60 containers to show you on my June 2026 garden tour. And I cannot wait to show all of them to you. They are looking so spectacular. And so here we go. So I am starting in my backyard patio, and this is kind of a broad overview of all of the containers that I have that just kind of outlines my backyard patio. I hope the lighting is okay. It is a little bit later than I usually like to film. I work full time and I haven't been able to get out in the mornings when it's nice and cool. And so now it's in the evening and a little bit cooler, but let me start over here for you all. And of course, I can't have a backyard garden tour of any kind without Chloe showing up. She is our backyard garden cat, and she chose us, y'all. We feed her and we have a place for her, a shelter, but she can't go inside because I'm super allergic, but she is just the sweetest little kitty cat, and in all of my backyard garden tours for sure, and container garden tours. So she's gonna fight for my attention this whole time. But here we go. This is one of the containers. I have two containers that are just like this, and I have a trellis in the middle of that with black-eyed Susan vine. And black-eyed Susan vine, I did have some blooms, like this is a spent bloom, but when it gets super, super hot, like it is getting in the late part of June, the black-eyed Susan vine will stop flowering, because once we hit like the mid-90s and after, consistently, it's kind of done. And then our evenings don't cool off either. And I don't think the black-eyed Susan vine loves that. But the vine itself does really well and is heat tolerant, and it will bloom like crazy in the fall. And then I have some dwarf zinnias. These are double brilliant Zahara mix. I got this mix of seeds from from Park Seeds, and they are doing really, really well. I have it mixed in with for some verbena florist mix, again grown from seed. Most of my containers this year are totally grown from seed. I love the way of winter sowing, and I even winter sow my annuals. I have a very particular way that I do that, and I have a video on how to do that, but most of what you see here is winter sown stuff. I have a few things that I've bought, but that would be it. What is this guy? Blah, look at that grasshopper. It's a certain type of grasshopper. I forget exactly what it is, but isn't that an exotic color? It's just, they are kind of pretty, but they are eating this verbena. It's driving me crazy. But this is one thing I did buy. This is Dallas Red Lantana, and I haven't been able to deadhead it like I should, and so it's not flowering probably as much as it should, but when it does flower, it is spectacular. And so that's kind of what this container is. It's the dwarf zinnias, which are the double brilliant Zaharas, the verbena florist mix, the black-eyed Susan vine, and the Dallas Red Lantana. Just gorgeous. Coming over here, I have my herb container, which right now the star of the show is the oregano. It's going crazy. I had parsley here. There is apple mint. That's apple mint growing in there. And there's lemon thyme somewhere in here. There's the lemon thyme. But really that oregano is kind of just really taking off in this heat. This container is one of my favorites for sure. This is kind of where I put some of my leftover winter sowing things that I didn't have space for. But now that it is all blooming, it is spectacular. So this is Powwow Echinacea. It is grown from seed from that plant in my garden right back there, Powwow Echinacea. So this is first year, you guys. First year, just winter sown and doing spectacular, as well as this Veronica. This Veronica was grown from seed from a Veronica plant that I have in my garden back there. And I don't know what type it was when I bought it. It was not labeled, but I collected the seeds from it last year. And it's, again, first year bloomer, perennial, super Texas tough. I love it so much. And those look spectacular with each other. I also have some regular pinwheel zinnias that are growing in there. That orange color looks really, really good. And this container started off with some cosmos. I forget the name, but they were this really cute, like pink mix of cosmos. Those got powdery mildew. They were in the middle here, and they have now transpired. But everything else is doing so well in there. So this striking plant that you see is Buddy Purple Gomphrena. Oh my goodness, one of my absolute favorite plants. For sure. It is a dwarf variety of Gomphrena, and this striking purple color is amazing. I get the seeds from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds, and they are, I just love them. So heat tolerant, pest resistant. I can't say enough about them growing this. So easy, like the easiest annual that I grow, honestly. And then I have that mixed with some Verbena Sweetheart Kisses, again, grown from seed. Not loving the flowers of these, but I have a container in my front yard that I will be showing you guys, and they are flowering so much better than this one. I don't know. Just a little bit of a different plant for sure than the one that's growing in my front. It's just weird, but it's beautiful. And then coming right over here, I have my last of the Supertunias that are still standing, and that is Supertunia Hoopla Vivid Orchid, and they are still going strong. Usually petunias by now have just completely gone kaput for me, but these are just doing fabulous. Now, I have noticed that the blooms are getting smaller, but the foliage itself is still doing really well, and it's still heavily blooming, so they're doing good. And this is Superbena Cobalt. This mixture is so spectacular. I'm a little disappointed that the Superbena Cobalt hasn't flowered exactly the way that I want it to. I wish that this was just covered in those cobalt blooms, which it's not. I've had a hard time to get this guy to bloom, honestly. I have been hitting it with the Proven Winners water-soluble fertilizer. Actually, about every 4 days is my routine right now. And so it's finally, now that the heat is kicking in, it's finally doing really well. But wow, it's just so striking. And then I have Verbena venerensis that is growing in the middle here, and that combination has just done really well, and it's doing very, very good with the heat that is now taken over. It is so hot, it's so humid, y'all, and then we hit hundreds next week for sure, but we've been in the mid-90s for quite some time. I have a container back here with Gomphrena globosa, and it is just a mix of all of the colors from light pink to white to that purple, and this is the normal size of the Gomphrena. And I have to say, I think Gomphrena is one of my definite top 5 annuals, and great for the heat. So heat tolerant and pest resistant and drought tolerant and all the things. I have a strawberry planter here, and it had balloon flower, and the balloon flower is almost done. It is a perennial, and balloon flower is so beautiful with those blue blooms. And it bloomed for quite some time actually, but I think I'm at the last of the blooms. I'm gonna let this all go to seed and collect those seeds so that I can grow more, because that balloon flower is so great. And I've got some strawberries, that I did not pick in time. That one's done. But I do have some strawberries growing here that I could pick. This is kind of their like second flush, I should say. I have some ever-bearing strawberries in here, and then some of the other kind. I forget what that other kind is called, where they just all put up their harvest at the same time. And so they're doing pretty well. I have this container right here that has, again, some dwarf zinnias, but this one is double hot cherry profusion zinnias. And I grew these for the first time last year, collected those seeds, and then these are the seeds of the ones that I collected, and they are true to the original plant, which I was so happy about, because it is not cheap to get these special varieties, especially this double hot cherry profusion variety is not cheap to buy those seeds. But my seeds have done just fine in producing that beautiful bloom, and they're doing pretty good. And then I have some Sweet William in there that I will pop into the garden in the fall. And then this was Liatris, but it is now done blooming. And then I had some white profusion zinnias growing in there and some orange profusion zinnias growing in there. Again, pretty much all of this was grown from seed. The Liatris was grown from bulbs by my friend Stacy that she gave me. So happy about that. Coming over here, this is my Kufia. Bat face Kufia is what this one is called, and this just fell off. But this has been such a great plant so far. It's starting to flop a little bit. I think it's going to be needed to be pruned down. I'm about ready to go on vacation, and I'm going to do some Texas chop pruning to some of my perennials, and I'm going to cut back some of my annuals as well. And I think this is one of the plants that I am going to cut back just a little bit, because I think it could use it. Honestly, and hopefully that will encourage it to be a little more branchy and less floppy, and produce more and more blooms. But these are so beautiful, and the hummingbirds absolutely love them. And so far they've been very heat tolerant as well. And then coming over here, this is another container that's exactly like the first one that I showed you. So some double brilliant Zaharas. This lantana is actually blooming a little bit better. I wonder what the difference is. It's just so funny how some plants you get and they don't bloom well, and then others that are exactly the same and treated exactly the same and in the same light conditions and everything, and some of them do better. But yeah, that's that Dallas red lantana. It's so beautiful. And then this verbena actually doesn't bloom as well as the other verbena. It's just so funny. Like, you grow the exact same thing. But that's a beautiful container. It's doing very, very well. I'm checking these to see if they set seed, and it didn't. Okay, that's fine. I have a little bit of succulent mix here. I have Mr. Goodbud sedum, but poor thing is getting covered up by that verbena. I'm gonna actually move that and move you forward. That's Mr. Goodbud sedum. And then this is ice plant. I have one little flower on that ice plant. This is Louisia. I grew this from seed from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds, and this is the only one that really did okay. And you can see this one did all right, but still not great. I'm not impressed, but I did just know that this flowered today. And so finally I'm going to get an actual, pretty good show of flowers. And of course I'm about ready to head out of town and I'm going to miss it. But anyway, that's Louisia. And then this is Hens and Chicks, and they are so cool. Like, they need no maintenance whatsoever. These are not on irrigation. None of my succulents are, but we have gotten a lot of rain. And so they just get watered by rain. That's it. And that's all I do to them. Like, that's it. They're just so like, yeah, you set it and forget it. And they're beautiful. I have this plant, which is another lantana. This is a, I forget the name of it. This was an all-star lantana that I bought as a teeny tiny thing. And I forget what the name is, but it's a pink one. Anyway, and then this is basil. This is Spice Boys basil, grown or bred to be grown in a container and to have this mounding effect. And yes, it has bolted. I totally get it. Honestly, the taste of the basil, I've still been using it and it still tastes just fine to me. And I actually kind of like these white flowers. But anyway, it smells amazing. It is just, it's flopped in the center, but then it grows right back out. And that's just done so well. Coming over here, I love this one. This is one of my favorite ones that I've grown. This is a new one that I grew from seed this year. This is the double Zahara salmon. And I love this color. Like, some of them have this whitish, creamish yellowish color, and then these are what they look like when they first come out. I need to go in and deadhead some of these, and I've definitely been collecting the seeds from the ones I've deadheaded. But I love, love, love the double Sahara salmon. And it looks really good with this plant grown from seed, which is Ageratum leda. Again, picked up from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. I got the double Sahara salmon from Park Seed. And this combination has that's all that's in there. The Ageratum and the salmon zinnias, and I think they look beautiful. For sure, I've got grasshoppers eating this thing. I have like full grown grasshoppers that I just cannot get rid of. I don't like to use a lot of pesticides. I have a lot of people that have said, use some 7-Dust. I don't use 7-Dust. I don't like to do that for the pollinators and all the other things. But anyway, I kind of let nature run its course for the most part. It just is what it is on those leaves. And then over here, oh, I wish I could show you. This was in like perfect bloom a few days ago, but this is butterfly pea. And I got these seeds from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. I'm like you guys, I am not affiliated with Baker Creek. I wish I was. They do not have influencers in their marketing campaign, or else I would really be trying, believe me, because I love Baker Creek. They're my favorite seed company. But I just wanted you to know they don't pay me in any way to say that. This is like legit me just loving their product. But these guys are the spent blooms. They are striking blue blooms, and I can't find one that just had like all kinds of blooms yesterday. But anyway, you can save the spent blooms. Oh, here's one. Here's one. They are so pretty. They are true blue. And they are just the most beautiful little things that you'll ever see. And they're so vibrant and lovely. And then you can save these and dry them and make something called butterfly pea tea, which is blue. And then it turns pink or purple if you add something acidic to it. So it's lovely. I love those growing around that Ferris wheel trellis. That's 2 butterfly pea vines, and they are filling in and just be absolutely lovely. And coming over here, these are limelight hydrangeas that are in containers, and I just absolutely love them. They look really beautiful with Tangerine Beauty Crossvine behind them. And then I have some shrubs that are in containers for now until the fall. I'm going to be putting these and redoing completely redoing a part sun flower bed, actually right over there. And so that's where they're gonna go. But for right now, they are gonna be in containers and let them grow. They're already growing so much, but I got these from Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs, and they are so beautiful. This is the Jazz Hands Variegated Loropetalum, or Chinese fringe flower, and it is just one of the most stunning shrubs. I love it so much, and it's growing and it's doing lovely. And then I got this one. This is Mr. Smooth Silverthorn, and it is a thornless, seedless silverthorn, and this will have some amazing fragrant flowers in the fall, and the pollinators absolutely love them. And anyway, so it's come to me as this little small shrub, but it can get 4 to 5 feet by 4 to 5 feet, so it's just a baby right now, but I think it will love life here. And I have another lantana here, which is that same like all-star pink variety that I told you about in another container. I popped one there. I have a gomphrena that just came up in my flower bed from last year, so I'm growing that. And then I have some dark purple opal basil that's growing here, and again being eaten alive by some grasshoppers, but it is what it is there. I have a container that has Confederate Star Jasmine growing up this pillar. I have hanging baskets that have autumn ferns, which I think are so lovely in there. I really wanted to try the hanging baskets with perennial ferns, or ferns that would be perennial in my area, and I think they are doing beautiful. I have a container over here with the Proven Winners Fairy Trail Fresco Cascading Hydrangea, and it is doing well. I have it down here. It's in a hanging basket, but I have it down here because it's a little more high maintenance right now. I'm kind of watching it, giving it soil acidifier as it needs, giving it chelated iron as it needs. It is a little bit one of my more high maintenance things. And so That's why it's not hanging, because I know I wouldn't be able to give it the maintenance it needs. And then another container with autumn fern up there. I have containers also all throughout my landscape, and that's why I have like over 60 containers, y'all, because I put them through my landscape too. Here is my shade garden, and so I have hostas growing in containers, and they are doing absolutely beautifully. Look at that. Oh, so lovely. And then you're also going to see hydrangeas in containers, and that's only temporary, honestly. Again, I'm going to be putting these in my side shade garden in the fall. It's just not the right time to completely redo a garden bed right now in the hot summer. So they're chilling in containers. They're going to get, look how lovely. This is Let's Dance Sky View, y'all. It's a little bit dramatic because of the heat. It's currently 95 degrees outside, and so that's why you're seeing the blooms being a little bit dramatic right now, but they are so beautiful. The Let's Dance Sky View was given to me by Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs, and this is going to be a continuous blooming hydrangea. So look at all those new blooms coming too. It's just beautiful. This one is too. It's so gorgeous, and they are doing so well. I've got a couple containers here that have trees in them, actually. This is an Alexandrita magnolia right there. And it actually bloomed for me a couple weeks ago. It gave me one big bloom in the early spring, which you would expect it's kind of like the Jane magnolias. They bloom these tulip-shaped blooms in early spring, but I did not expect it to bloom again for me in like late spring, and it sure did. And so anyway, I popped a picture of that on the screen for you guys so you can see it. It was lovely. I love those trees. I love those tulip-shaped blooms. And in this container over here, I have an Orangeola Japanese maple. So it is doing really well. And in this container, you can't even see the container. I've got huge yarrow in front of it, but this is a limelight hydrangea that's being trained to be a standard or a tree form. It is not doing all that well. It is getting eaten alive by grasshoppers. Oh, look, there's a baby lizard right there too. Do you see him? Oh, so sweet. You get all those insects, Betty, okay? You get them, because they are just crazy in this garden bed. So that limelight hydrangea is just struggling. It's on the struggle bus for sure. It's not blooming. And then down below it, I have some beautiful annual phlox. This is Sugar Stars phlox, which has become just prolific in there. And then I also have Dwarf Beauty phlox, which is right down there, the pink one. And then, not currently blooming that I can see, there is a Superbina Sparkling Rosé, and I can't see any current blooms in there, but that's also in that container, as well as Blue Days Evolvulus. And again, you can't even see that container, but there is a large terracotta pot there. It's just completely taken over with the phlox, which that's the point, right? It's just absolutely beautiful. So, oh, and then I have Plumeria in these large containers among my patio furniture. Look at that. This Plumeria tree was given to me last year by a lovely lady, Peggy, at church. And it's just such a treasure to me. I can't believe that she gave this large tree to me. Can you imagine? And it has brought me so much joy. The blooms are unbelievable. I have another bloom stalk on this one way up here. Wow. It's just incredible, you guys. And then I have another one that she gave me over here. Ugh, I don't know what type it is. It's absolutely gorgeous. They smell gorgeous. Chloe likes to sit under them. I do have some mulch and things. Just bear with me there. We all have areas of storage, right? Okay, so this concludes my backyard. I'm going to bring you all to my front yard because I do have some beautiful hydrangeas in containers to show you in my front and all of the things. So hang tight. Okay, so this is coming out my front door, and I hope it's not too dark, y'all. Can you believe this is 8:30 at night and I still have this much light? But anyway, here are the containers right off of on my front porch, and this is the star of the show for sure. This is a dragon wing begonia, a red variety. So striking. I overwintered this last year and it's just getting kind of crazy. I'm actually thinking about moving it to my backyard because it's taking up like the whole space of people walking to my front door. But it is so incredibly beautiful. I love it so, so much. Dragon wing begonias, regular begonias, they do lovely here in the heat, honestly. Underneath this, this guy probably should be moved too. This is a Gerbera daisy, and it's yellow. And you can see it's tried to put on some blooms. It's just kind of being overpowered and shaded by this dragon wing begonia. I have a kalanchoe, which is probably having the same issue, not enough light. I have a foxtail fern, which these guys don't mind being more shaded, honestly. And it's doing very well there. And then I have a carex, which, what variety is this? This is Evercolor Everoro carex, and I kind of just love it here. I have a heuchera. And then I have I believe it's a lace leaf fern. I had to overwinter this for just a little bit in our extreme temperatures in the winter, but I overwintered it just fine and it's doing beautiful. And then I have a hosta with some variegated liriope and another foxtail fern in this like 3-tier planter. And then coming off around this corner, this is one of my favorite plants of all time. This is a variegated lace cap hydrangea. I love it so, so very much. The blooms are done, so I have cut them off now because they kind of just don't look great. The blooms, when they're spent, they're done, they're brown, they're icky, and so they're gone. But the plant that's left is just absolutely beautiful with its variegation. And it's such a little treasure. I love this plant so, so much. And then right next to it is the oldest plant that I have kept alive. This was given to me for Mother's Day in 2011. And so this year it's 15 years old. I repotted it this past fall. It has stayed in this pot the entire time, but that is a very, very large, I think 24 or 26 inch pot. And I'm starting to hit it with some chelated iron. I do realize it has a little bit of chlorosis going on. It's gotten 1 dose of chelated iron, but it needs a little bit more. But it's got blooms. This is an endless summer. And so it's just going to continuously bloom all summer long. It's gorgeous. And even these are the old blooms from the spring, but I'm going to leave them on because I still love them even when they're green. And in November, December, these will turn magenta for me. I don't know if it's this way with all types of macrophylla, but this particular endless summer hydrangea, these guys turn magenta color in November, December, and it's beautiful. So I leave them on. And then I have these lovely guys off of my porch as well. I have variegated English ivy, which is evergreen for us here in North Texas. I have another evergreen plant, which is my Encore azalea. This is, I think, autumn sunrise. And then trailing in here, I have some variegated vinca. I have this just real simple little dianthus with some vinca, periwinkle. Let me show you these two containers first, and then I'll show you what's over there. But I have, oh, look at this. Oh my goodness gracious. Polka dot begonia, I believe. Angel wing begonia, polka dot begonia, I forget. Someone gave me a cutting, and then this plant was grown from the cutting, and it just loves it outside way more than it does indoors. And then I have some Tradescantia zebrina, variegated English ivy, and then this is another Proven Winners color choice shrub that they sent me. This is Pillow Talk gardenia, and it's got all kinds of brand new foliage. It's going to be here for the most part in this location because this is perfect lighting for it, and I want to be able to smell it when I come and leave my home, and I want others to smell it when they come and leave as well. And so it's not quite, it did give me one flower and I forgot to get a picture of it, and then it was brown before I knew it, but it did flower once for me, and I just can't wait to see that continue to grow and do well. I do think it will do just fine. And then, oh my goodness, let me talk about this plant. This is Dracula Red Celosia. And honestly, I didn't plant this necessarily, this particular plant anyway. I purchased it last October around Halloween at H-E-B, and it was just one little guy, and I thought it was a great Halloween kind of plant because it looks like brain coral, and then these leaves were really purpley, like they have the purple veining, and it's just such a great fall plant. But it seeded itself, and then the seedlings, they started coming up in, February. And they survived an ice storm. I did cover them with a bucket, but that's all that I did. They didn't go inside or anything like that. They just got covered with a bucket, and the seedlings survived. And then I even had to thin them out. There were so many seedlings. So I think this is just 6 plants that seeded themselves from October, and they are just, they are so striking. And then new ones are coming up all the time. And these just get bigger and bigger. Like these blooms are, I don't know how old, they're months old. They just get bigger and bigger and more beautiful. They don't like get old or anything. It's just the most remarkable plant, y'all. Oh my goodness. I will grow this every single year from here on out. It's so great. So lovely. And then here I have more of that double Zahara salmon, and it is grown with the Sweetheart Verbena. And this Sweetheart Verbena, I don't know the difference. They both get full sun. I don't really know, I don't know. It's just so much more happy than my other Sweetheart Verbena is. And there's 2 different colors there, as you can see, and they are just lovely. They are so beautiful. And then they are growing in with this container. You can't even tell the difference. Like this is 2 different containers here, y'all. But this is another type of Kufia. This one is, I forget what it's called, Purple Illusion. Let's see. Here we go. I was totally wrong. Sweet Talk Deep Pink Kufia. And I got it at Callaway's, and I just saw it and thought it was so striking. I had to have it. And it's just like my bat face Kufia, but it has a different growing habit. And then instead of just like 2 little bat ears, this has the petals all the way around. So it's got that pink, that purple center, that tulip, trumpet shape, that the hummingbirds absolutely love. And then it's just got those striking pink petals all the way around. And this plant is really thriving. It's doing awesome. And then underneath it is the Proven Winners. It's not Star Diva pink. It's Whirlwind pink. That's what it is. But the Kufia is taking over the Whirlwind pink. And so I'm not sure if the Whirlwind pink is going to continue or not, because the Kufia just really wants to take over. But it's so lovely. And then I have a container in here, and I told myself that this was going to be the Proven Winners annual container. And I guess I could just transplant the Whirlwind Pink Scaevola over here. I don't know. But originally, this had 5 Proven Winners annuals plants, and we are down to 2 that have survived from very early spring until early summer. And so the 2 that have survived are the Lobelia Sky Blue, which is so beautiful. I can't believe it's still alive, honestly. This is not like a super heat tolerant Texas tough. This is more of your like spring plant, although the Proven Winners does say that their series of Lobelia is more heat tolerant than other Lobelia is, but this has really just been absolutely a rock star. But I can see that it is starting to struggle a little bit in the heat, and so I don't know how much longer it will be with us. Once we get to 100-degree temperatures, I'm kind of guessing that it's going to die, and that's going to be okay because I'm expecting it. But then this is so lovely. It is Waikiki Sunset Lysimachia, and it is, believe it or not, Creeping Jenny is a type of Lysimachia. This is not exactly the same type as Creeping Jenny. However, look at those beautiful little yellow flowers, and I think they look so beautiful with that, blue bloom right there. And this Waikiki Sunset Lysimachia is actually hardy down to zone 7, so it will survive, I think. And it's really doing good. Like, it's spreading all over and kind of creeping over that container. So I'm so happy about that. let me show you this container. This is, let's see. Oh, I have 2 containers after that, and they're my absolute favorite. So stay with me, y'all. But I have creeping zinnia at the bottom in this container. And this is one of them that I think it's either not as heat tolerant, so it's kind of petering out during this heat, or it needs to be cut back really, really bad. And so I'm gonna cut it back and see what happens and hope that I get more of these really pretty little yellow blooms. This is not true zinnia. It's called creeping zinnia. And the variety is something like San Vitalia procumbens, I think. I grew this from seed. And again, I do think it could use a good prune right now. And then let's see if it survives our big heat. And then here is my Carolina Sapphire Cypress, doing very, very well. This is evergreen. It is an native to Arizona, so it's super, super heat tolerant. Admittedly, I need to get in and I need to prune this guy really bad, but I'm leaving on vacation in 2 days and I don't know if I'm gonna get to it. I'll just be honest, but it's hanging in there. It's doing good. It's loving life. And for my last 2 containers to show y'all, these are my favorite containers that I have ever done. I have these 2 containers that are curbside. And so when people, you know, pull up to our house, this is like the first thing that they see. And I am so, so, so happy about this. Oh my goodness. So this is the Sun Credible Yellow. I think it's an ever blooming sunflower, but this is, what is it? Double sunfidity, I think is, oh my goodness. I hate that, like, you know, you're growing so many different types of flowers, you forget like the exact names of them all. So I will put them on the screen. I will put that name on the screen, but it has been a rock star. It's one of those that does require deadheading, but it's cut and come again. You cut it, you deadhead it, and it grows more. It grows another branch, you know? And so it has just taken on its own life. It's just loving life. This is one plant and it's just continuous blooming, and I love it so very much. And then underneath it is just as spectacular. This is the Fanatics Dark Blue Scaevola. And Scaevola, again, is one of those super heat tolerant, no maintenance annuals. You do not deadhead this thing. It just grows and grows and grows and grows, and it loves the heat, and it just loves life in the summertime. And it's just amazing. It's just, oh, so striking. And then I've got some pinwheel zinnias that are growing in there that had a hard time competing with the Scaevola, but all of a sudden have decided that they are loving life again and are growing really, really well. And same thing with these double hot cherry profusion. It was having a hard time competing, but now it's like, okay, it's good. The heat is on. I can grow really, really well, and I can do this. So they're growing in with it, and they are just spectacular. Same thing over here. Exact same container. As a matter of fact, I could deadhead this a little bit longer, a little bit more. I didn't deadhead it as much as I should have this morning. But you can just see, like, oh, I just love that so much. That combination of the dwarf zinnias in the different bright, vivid colors with the Fanatics Scaevola, which I got at Callaway's. And then this double sunfinity sunflower is just incredible. They are my favorite container combination that I have ever done. And the only thing that was grown from seed in this one was the dwarf zinnias. The others were purchased, and I allowed myself that for a few of my containers, because as you can imagine, when you have more than 60 containers, it does get very expensive, especially if you are buying all of those plants. So it is much more cost effective for me to grow most everything from seed, and that's what I have done. I'm very proud of myself for that, honestly. It's quite a task to, you know, put together 60 different container combinations, and I'm just so pleased with how they are doing and how they are performing so far. And you're probably going to say, well, Shannon, you're going to go out of town and they're going to they're going to really struggle. Well, I do have a plan. Most of them are hooked up to irrigation. I do get that question a lot. Yes, they are hooked up to irrigation. I still have to hook up just a few that are left in the last couple days that are not on irrigation, but they will all be on irrigation. And then I have my friend Stacy, who I just did a garden tour of. Her garden is even more spectacular. And so if you want to check out her garden tour, I will pop a link on the screen. But Stacy knows what she's doing. You can see in her video, her garden is spectacular. And so Stacy will be coming to my home to check on things sporadically while I am gone. So I am so thankful for her friendship. And I've been doing that for her this last couple weeks as well, checking on her garden while she's away. So we just kind of have that mutual relationship happening, right? And so anyway, that concludes my container garden tour for June. I think things are looking so lovely before the hundreds set in. I don't think it will look the same next month. Nothing ever does in July and August. But I am just so happy. I'm growing all of the things that I want to because I grow them in containers. And so I thank all of you for watching today. Comment down below. Let me know what you think. What is your favorite plant? What is your favorite container combination? I actually really want to know that. Which one is your favorite? And then subscribe to my channel. I have so much more to show you all, and my love for gardening and small space gardening, container gardening, all of the things. So I'd love for you to join me and subscribe. It would help my channel so very much. And like this video, share it with all of your fellow gardeners. Thank you all so much for watching today. I appreciate each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. And I hope that each of you has a beautiful day today. Bye-bye, everybody.